Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith of the In the Black Quant Edge VTF here at T3 Live with this week's market wrap-up. And so finally, as you can see here, that SPY had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days completely within this bar's range. Then we pop up and take them out and then drop back in. So this is going to be a real important point of control. This is a really important equilibrium to keep an eye on. You certainly do not want to take this stuff back to the downside after this slight higher high that could not go back towards the highs. Not the end of the world here if we take this out a little bit more. You'll recall that we had the tight triangle broadening formation up in here. And we went right to it, tick-tock, ticky. And you had this one up in here. So we come up and test the middle of this range again. Now you got this range, this range, this range, and now you're back in the middle of it. And it's a Friday, so some profit taken, and as you can see. But here, if you take a look at like QQQ, goes to the highs and trying to just back and fill a little bit. So there's a lot of different things going on in the market. So one of the things I do over the weekend, if you want to join me, I make a much more extensive video. You can find that at Smiths in the Black, all one word, on YouTube. I also tweet it out at Rob in the Black if you want to check that out. And so one of the things I also tweet out in the mornings is the gap list, hashtag mind the gap. And just by doing that, if you look at this morning, looking at ENDP, and I know not everybody's going to be this bang banger, but here you can see it goes up. It goes inside 5 equilibrium right there. Boom, inside 5 back to the upside. And so you don't have to necessarily be such a ninja about it and you can go after the really fast stuff. If you just say BDX here and just let it mellow out, it comes down, it goes inside on the 60 here, and then reverses back higher inside 60 up. You also had one on Twitter here. And then the OSK on the downside all day long. If you go back to if you're looking at all the time frames, so you can ferret them out. Inside 30, you've heard me talk about a momentum shooter before. That's it. Little short covering comes down. Stops are here and here. Going down on all time frames inside 30 and never look back. Thanks for playing. So outside of that, like I said, when you look at that S&P trying to come back into that range, it's really a whole bunch of pieces parts. And for one, we had the crude get smacked a little bit today, and once again, that was a nice UWTI off the inside 15 and down here. Oops, sorry, that's a 10. The 15er. Once it started to break, we had plenty of time here. 15-minute inside bar, down, sideways, and an expanded measured move at 115 down there. If we go back to the weekly, here it stayed green on the week, and so it's still an inside month. If you go to USA, you'll see it's still an inside month here for oil. So that's the jury's still out on that. But if we look at, like I said, the Q's going to the highs and the SPY trying to come back, you'll see like the XLE here still couldn't do it. Still just triangle down in here, can't get back in there. XOP the same. So we got some laggard group stuff like that. Then later in the day we got Apple, El Puco Mucho. But in the grander scheme of things, if you see this, it was at risk of weekly exhaustion with no actual signals going to the upside. And then higher highs, exhaustion, just pulling back. So not the end of the world there either. What we do have coming up, though, is FAS. The financials, after Yellen, Lucy took the football away again. No rate hike. Inside week for FAS. And so we want to see if we can finally get in. Wells Fargo, inside week potential momentum shooter to the downside. Citicorp is inside, Capital One. So all these financials still have to pick a direction off of that. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. If you go to the IBB, as far as the NASDAQer, IBB actually had a green week and trying to come through up in here. And you'll see this. So anytime you get the series, the lower highs, the higher highs are going to be like this to start off. Here we talk about the reversal strategy, RevStrat. And so Perigo, what that is, the monthly, you can see this, inside month, countered with hammer, now above it. And we're running out of month, but so long as Perigo is above 95.36, we're watching that. GILD, still trying to come off of this stuff, and GILD going inside, inside, inside on the daily. How do we get out of this? 3-bar inside pattern. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Another laggard group so far is this XRT, retail. Nowhere near coming up towards the highs here, but going weekly hammer here. So you can see the Costco's just gotten crushed here. We want to see if that can muster anything. And you got the Walmart going inside on the week. And so one of the things we do have is a lot of inside weeks in the Dow Jones. So if we go to the Dow Jones Industrials, you can see this daily pattern here. Same type of deal as the SPY, although it hit the lower lows. Now it comes up into there, but we've got inside weeks in a lot of the Dows. You got Intel, which is inside month and up, but inside week to reconfirm or negate it. You got Coke, you got Merck, you got the other ones that I already mentioned. You've got Disney, you've got Chevron, you've got IBM, UTEX. So all these Dow names can give us a pretty good indication of what's going on. Outside of that, let's see. One more reversal strat for you. How about a little CMG to end the day? CMG, inside week to the downside. And if it can come back through there, we can expect stops to go here, here, and here. And a rebreak of the month, inside month and up, would occur at 426.62, but we know that's had a bit of an issue. So when I point out these triangles, another thing you can do is just look on the short term. If you look at the SPY just at the end of the day, you're going to see this type of action all the time. This is how price action works. And if you can look at this here, it goes inside 3 right here, takes it to the down, but comes back and hammers. That's a rev strat up, goes up into here, exhaust, comes down, stops these guys out, goes hammer, goes all the way back up, goes inside 3 to reclaim this exhaustion, down inside 3 here, stop all these guys out, inside 3 here, and back up. And that's really how the price action can take you out, even if something's working your way. So, like I said, I'm going to have a much more extensive video over the weekend. I hope everybody had a good week. We got Monday, we've got the presidential debate, so that should be interesting. And so we'll see how it's all going to go. All right, I hope everybody had a great week, has an even better weekend. I'm Rob Smith of the In the Black Quant Edge VTF here at T3 Live with this week's Market Wrap-Up.